Amazon has everything for back to school. Zebra lunchbox? Check. Cool Adidas gear like t-shirts, shoes, and backpacks? Check. Triceratops folders and pencils? Check. Laser Cat t-shirts? Check. Get your back-to-school shopping done now at Amazon.com/back-to-school and enjoy free shipping on millions of items. No need to leave your home or hassle with crowds. Amazon.com. No better place to get everything back to school from A to Z.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hi folks, this is Mark Wilmot, singer-songwriter of the Redstone Ramblers, owner of Trademark Instrument Repair, and proud supporter of the Paige Roberts Show on Intercom Radio. Do you want that old acoustic to play like butter again? You want to get that Strat you got from your dad hot-rodded? Or maybe you want to put a pickup in your banjo? You can contact me for all your TLC. I'll be there for your instrument when it needs me. You can check me out at Trademark Instrument Repair on Facebook. Thanks again for listening, and remember, support your local songwriter.
Playing tunes that make you grin. Our music's better than it's ever been. So think of us when you need a show. We're at WIRN, Intercom Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Paige Roberts Show. It is Tuesday, depending on where you are. It is August the 7th, 2018, and it is Featured Artist Tuesday, and my featured artist tonight is Matthew Bonazzoli. I hope I said that right. But Matthew has been in the music business now for over 25 years and writing and recording and performing his own music. And so I'm not going to do a huge, big introduction. But before I do get into that, I do want to say that we're still doing our songwriting contest. So keep sending in your songs. You can only do 2 songs, and you can send them to intercomradio@gmail.com. I'm getting quite a few, so in the subject line, put songwriting contest or songs for songwriting contest or something like that to let me know what it is, so I can weed it out of that wonderful spam I get. But without further ado, I have Matthew on the phone with me, so I'm going to bring him in. Matthew, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming on and taking time out to talk to us.
Hi, Paige, and hello to everyone that's out there listening. I hear you're broadcasting from Athens, Georgia.
And where are you located at right now?
Right now, I am in Florida, so not too far.
Mm-hmm. Right. Depending on what part, it isn't far at all.
Yep. So I'm glad you started with that song, There Comes a Time. I'd like to say we kind of have a unique sound, and probably a lot of your listeners are going to be introduced to a very different sounding band. And I think that song really epitomizes what the Bonazzoli band really goes after. And we like to say that we combine the best of 20th century music. And so there's a little rock, there's a little country, there's a little swing, a little blues, and it's kind of all wrapped up in that song. And you hear all the styles. You hear the jazz piano, you hear the rock, you hear the country riffs and all that all thrown in. So it is actually, I'm very happy you chose to start with that one, because that's a great song. Very, very easily identifiable as our style.
Yes, it is. You know, Matthew, earlier I had found one of your videos that was introducing your band, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. You know, from all walks of life and different places and different things, and the way that you were introducing them, I just thought, well, that does sum it up, you know?
Oh, you're making me wonder what video you watched.
I'll have to find it. It wasn't on one of your regular sites. I think it was like, no, it wasn't. It was on your GoFundMe page. Do you remember that one?
Oh, okay. Oh, that was quite a few years ago. Yeah, that was we did that when we released one of our albums. And that's right. That introduced a lot of the elements of our sound right there. I noticed you posted a link to one of our videos, which was the song "Taking Chances," which was the single off that album.
So we went in that direction. Well, you know what? The reason I post some of the songs that I do is because Facebook is so wishy-washy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
The internet as a whole is becoming more and more finicky. We have, as you saw from your posts, we have a lot of fans in Italy, and YouTube once deleted our videos because they said we had too many foreign views coming from Italy. I was like, well, with the last name of Bonazzoli, I'm not really surprised that we had a lot of views coming from Italy. We have a lot of fans. We sell quite a few albums over there.
But it's like, so? Isn't that what we're here for?
But they only want people to be too successful, to only be so successful on those sites. So they put a lot of dampers.
YouTube, I guess? Not to overshine YouTube. Oh my
What
God.
was that?
Not to overshine YouTube.
Right. Well, they're there for the biggies, and they'll help all the major labels because they're getting paid directly out of that. And the music business is the music business is very competitive. And I always say think of how many musicians you know personally, and then think of, say, in the state of Georgia, how many musicians there are. Then think in the country, and then in the world, and then think how many are really big musicians? Hundreds? And how many musicians are out there? Billions?
Oh, wow!
Very few ever make it. Very few ever make it. So I'm happy with the success that we've had, and it's fun being an indie because I can do a blues song or a country song or a rock song, and if like my brother Damien brings in a rock guitar instrumental and says, "What do you want to do with this?" We can put it together and we can release it. We don't have anybody telling us, "Oh, you can't do that. It doesn't go with your sound." So.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, because I have a YouTube account as well, the Paige Roberts Show and Intercom Radio Network, and it wouldn't let me post one of my. I have a couple of different other shows as well that's on my network. And so I tried posting it to YouTube, and it's like, oh, we don't like that video because it didn't fit the criteria. It did not fit with what I was doing.
It seems too, as soon as one of our videos really gains traction and gets 30, 40, 50,000 views, YouTube will remove it. And the royalties you get from sites like YouTube are virtually non-existent. I remember we had one video, and it had when we launched it, it had 20,000 views on it, and I think that they gave us like 37 cents.
Wow.
So that's not really where you're going to make your fortune. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well,
not off the internet anyway, right?
That's the condition of the music industry nowadays. There is very little music industry nowadays.
It is. And it's sad because I know how hard that musicians or singer-songwriters work into putting together their music, writing their music, and even promoting their music and doing their videos. It's a lot of hard work. Like, come on, YouTube
right.
and Facebook. Really.
Yeah, I was happy to hear at the beginning of your show that you have a songwriter competition, because you'll probably discover some fantastic music that no one's ever heard through there, and you'll be able to play it and showcase it and expose it to people. Because right now the mainstream music listener is not really exposed to the best music out there. No. They're exposed to whatever the music industry thinks will sell, and the industry's changed from a point where it was more of an art, and now it's more of an enterprise. And they don't hire the most creative people. They hire the people that can make the product that they want you to make.
Yep. But I was locked out of my account because of the such. Thank you very much, Facebook. But from sharing, liking, I guess what you call Facebook jail, if that's what you want to call it.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard that term. I've never been put in Facebook jail. Could happen at any time, I'm sure. But you must be pretty popular if they noticed and put you in jail.
Well, I'm like, I go on a radio show. Come on. That's what I do, I promote music.
Right. Yep. People often forget Facebook is a business, and it's not there for anything other than to make some investors money. And so if you cross that and you start profiting where they're not profiting, they'll cut you off.
But I don't. I don't profit anything.
Yeah. It's all perception with them. And, of course, if you have any type of views they disagree with, they'll also shut you off.
Right. I don't have checks and balances.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God, I wish I did. But no. Well, and a lot of singer-songwriters don't, and that's what they're out there to do, is to promote their music.
Right. In the hopes that lightning strikes. The only thing I could say really to fellow musicians out there and fellow indies out there is, enjoy the product and the scene. The goal people have of making millions is a great one. But the people that usually make the millions aren't the artists.
Right.
There's a great book out there, or I remember reading. It was an article that I read, and the title always stuck with me. And it said, "Life is fair. You just don't know how it's played, or you just don't know the rules." And one of the things it brought up is musicians, and it talked about how the real musicians out there, the real artists, are investing all their time in their craft and creating the perfect song and nitpicking a song to death and making sure the recording is just right and all that. And then there's the other people who will throw something together, but they'll put all their time and energy into promoting that. And that's how it works.
Wow. But the promoting...
So the real artists out there are artists. They're not really the promoters. And then you've got the other people. And if you can find that winning combination where you're a really good artist and you're a really good promoter, I mean, that's a rare combo. Most really legitimate artists, going back to a lot of the famous country artists, George Strait and people like that, and the rock bands of the 70s, they all had management. Management did all that for them.
Right.
Doing it all for yourself is pretty difficult.
But still, Matthew, you still got to get out there and get to knowing people that do the business. You can't just sit there and say
that is
not
correct.
Going to come from you. So.
Yep, and social media and the internet gives you a great opportunity to at least make your material available. You can use their tools to promote it, but the beauty of it is in the availability, because you can send a link to anyone anywhere, and they can listen to your song. Will they buy it? Very likely not, because that's not how the music industry works anymore.
And if you find that one person that likes it, and that are wanting to do management, then...
Yeah, and it's a good way. You raise a good point, because if you could find that one connection, it would mean the complete difference of a job where you work a career and you do music as a hobby versus where you do music as your career. That one connection. Right. But the real artists out there, if they make 10 connections with real music lovers who really understand and appreciate the music that they're creating, then they feel successful. They don't need a million fans.
And
I once read that.
And those are the ones that are out there that are not in it for the money, because nowadays, like you said,
there's not much money in the music industry anymore, except for the few. Almost every top 20 hit you hear on the radio is written by the same handful of people. It doesn't matter which artists release it. It's all written by the same people, and that's why so much of it sounds alike. You go back to the 70s, and you had the whole the 70s growing country scene, and then you had the rock scene where you had bands as divergent as Pink Floyd versus a Led Zeppelin versus a Leonard Skinner. You had all of those styles. You don't have that anymore. In fact, kids today know all those songs still.
Yes.
Because that was, the last real era of the singer-songwriter music.
Well, I think it's cool when I go into my daughter's room and hear her listening to my music. I'm like, that's my music.
They don't really have music.
That brings a good point. They don't. There are just so many genres out there. It's unreal.
My wife's a school teacher, and she will attest that little kids don't like modern music. What they really like is swing music from like the 40s, and they like the Dean Martins, and she teaches some fairly young kids, and they call it fancy music, and they love it. Well, that was legitimately really, really good music, and probably the swing era was the pinnacle of musical culture. Because honestly, rock was a step down. It was creative. When rock first came out, it was very, very basic. And I'm sure a lot of the swing musicians were just like, how are kids listening to this? But they had no idea how bad it was going to get.
You could understand it, though.
Yep. Yeah, and, the rockabilly beat really works. It really works. It gets people dancing. It really does legitimately work. I've sung in bands that played nothing but rockabilly, and it is fun music to play. It's fun to listen to. But then you had, the rock bands came out of the rock and roll era and were really artistically creative. And then it just kind of in the 80s and stuff, it just kind of all went south, as they say.
Fading out. It's fading
no pun
out.
intended.
All of it's fading out.
Yep. So the indies are where it's at.
Yeah.
So you're doing independent music, and music fans a great service by highlighting not just, of course, our music, but everybody's music that's out there and is writing and creating and is doing it for the joy of making music, because you can hear it in a lot of artists. Now, granted, not every independent artist is brilliant. Some just do it because they really want to do it. But there are others out there. I have actually DJ'd a couple indie shows as a fill-in, and I got to choose some of the independent music that I had really liked that I'd heard on other stations. And there's so much great music being made, but most people, unfortunately, will never hear it.
I know, and that's sad.
Yeah.
But, like you said, we need more independent radio stations like me that are online that can do what we do and play and get the music out there so people can hear it.
Right, and the independent artists, they really put their heart and soul into a lot of their craft. They have, there's always the people that are making the fun songs and the party anthems and things, but some of the independent music out there I hear is just so deep, and that you can tell the artist is really, pouring their soul into the lyrics, and the guitarist is really grasped what type of melodies will work, and it's really great. And that's one of the benefits of the internet. It's really great that if you look hard enough, you can find that fantastic music. And it'll mean the world to the artist if you contact them and say, I heard your song and I really loved it.
Right. Well, even like yourself, that sits down and takes time to put an album together that goes along with a theme, that goes along, with reality. Do I want to say reality?
Well, goes along with what our realities are at the time. So that's actually a good segue. So we released a single a couple months ago called Other Times. And I think your listeners, you probably have a lot of country listeners. And this song is very much a country song. Maybe this is a good time to play it, and after I could tell a story about what actually drove us to create the song.
Let me find it there it is. Yeah, so we'll play this, and if everybody will hang on, we'll come right back and talk some more with Matthew. So we appreciate our listeners out there tonight. I know we have quite a few out there, so yeah, let's play this and we'll come right back. Thank you, Matthew.
Gets up and pours himself another, more now out of habit than of pain. Mother's in the bedroom with the door closed, trying to count the blessings that remain. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and other times you cry. Every now and then he'll take a phone call and explain to someone else how it went down. Like driving towards some cold dark destination, wishing he could turn the car around. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and other times you cry. Somewhere someone struggles just to see another dawn, and reach an understanding with his pain to move beyond. Though no one can explain why some are here while others gone, life goes on and on. Sympathies from far away, the cards and letters just reminding more of bitter days and how we all just try to carry on with bones a bit more brittle than before. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and other times you cry. I said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and other times you cry. Other times you cry.
You are listening to the Paige Roberts Show on Blog Talk Radio. Well, let's say Intercom Radio. We're broadcasting live off of Blog Talk Radio. If you hadn't realized, I know here very soon I may not be on this network. Maybe I shouldn't say that very loud. But my featured artist tonight is singer-songwriter Matthew Bonazzoli. Let's give a shout-out, Matthew, because I know that Morrow is listening out there. So we'll give a shout-out to Morrow Bonazzoli, and we appreciate you listening in tonight. So that's pretty cool.
I know it's very late out in Italy, but we'd like to say hi to all our fans out in Italy.
Yeah, I know he said it was 1 a.m. Now, I had someone not long ago also. I don't know if you know DJ. Now, that's somebody you might can talk into doing an interview if you haven't already. Is Nick Pizzigoni. He is from Italy.
Oh, no, I don't know who that is. I have not done an interview with him.
Well, I'll have to put
But I would
you
say,
in touch.
by all means, forward my information over. I'd love to talk with him.
Yeah, I sure will. But that was the song Other. And you do have a remarkable resemblance to Elvis and to who was the other one? I had it written down.
I know who you mean. You mean Roy Orbison.
Yeah, Roy Orbison. I detected it in different places. I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's funny, and that song very much so. But it started. I think it was funny. We played. I remember a show when we were called Gearhead. We played a show in Massachusetts around '99 or 2000, and we played with this old '50s rock band that had literally been around since the 1950s. So at that point, they had been around for 25, 30 years.
Wow.
And after our set, their upright bassist came up to me, big guy, and he goes, "Where'd you learn to sing like that?" And I was like, I don't know. I've always sung like this, I guess. And he's like, "Man, you like Elvis up there. Nobody sings like that anymore." And I never really thought about it, but over the years, it became more and more true. As I recorded music that was less rock, and I started branching into other genres, it was like, yeah, I really do. And then it became, we released the American Ghost Stories album in 2013 with the song Taking Chances, and I started to actually get flack from people about, oh, you're just copying Roy Orbison's style. And I was like, no, and I never even thought of that.
That's your original style. Come on, people.
Yeah. But to combat that, I actually go ahead.
No, I was thinking back earlier today, and I was trying to think of what the genre was that Elvis fell under, and he didn't really have. Did he? No, he didn't really have a genre.
He started as rock and roll rockabilly, and eventually became somewhat of a crooner. And we've been reviewed, and not derogatorily, we have been called crooner rock simply because of my voice. The music is not Dean Martin, but my voice kind of is. And so people think that we're going for that. It's like, well, there's a lot of singers out there that they just sound the way they sound. I can imitate all sorts of people, but that's just the way I sound.
That's your natural voice, y'all. Really?
That's right. People hear me speak, and they don't think that I would sound like that. But
well, even so.
Yeah, it's a style, and it's a style of music I always liked. I was always an Elvis fan. His 70s material somewhat less than when he seemed to be really into it and really trying. But I was always a big fan of his style. And funny thing is, Roy Orbison, I didn't pay that much attention to until people started saying I sound just like Roy Orbison. And then I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I don't hear it, but I hear the style is similar.
Right.
I think of modern artists, Chris Isaak has that sound, and
right.
I mean, there's still a few out there that sound like that. It's not the easiest style. You're not just going to fall into it. It requires a lot of practice, and you have to have a multi-octave range. You can't just stay in the same range. It won't work. It won't sound like that. Elvis didn't usually go high, but he went mid, and he had a deep, low, resonating voice, and that really worked for him.
He was kind of standard with his. He didn't really go up or down, right?
Yeah. He went down pretty low in a lot of songs, but he didn't go particularly high. But he would scream, and younger Elvis in the 50s, he could go very high. His natural voice in the rock songs was pretty high. I think later on in his career, he started singing lower. And you know what? Well, I'm later on in my career, so I'm singing lower. It simply works.
I guess. Now you are signed now with Echoda Records, are you?
Yeah. We've been working with Echoda Records for years. They're great. They're one of those groups out there that just helps promote a lot of really, really talented artists. And that's
right.
Ultimately that's what it's all about.
Right. Another thing. I mean, it is what it is, and that's what we're here for, and that is to help you all promote your music. And mind you, and I'm not saying I don't want to run this in the ground. It's not a paying job. We do all of this for free. We don't get paid.
Right. You guys are pretty much on the same level as all the artists you pay. You're doing it because it's what you want to do. You have a love for this, and you want to do it. And that's awesome. That's exactly what people should do. I always say, work your career so you can afford to do what you want to do.
Right.
And my job helps me pay for music. It's one of the things I want to do.
Well, and that's what you should keep on doing because it seems to be working.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we are working on another album. In fact, the song we just played, Other Times, we decided on this upcoming album that we were going to release songs periodically rather than wait until the entire album was finished. We were going to do it. And the interesting thing is there is a real reason why we kind of came to that decision, and it falls into what the song Other Times is actually about. Now, we had started to put together the song Other Times last year, and I didn't really have the lyrics for it, but I kind of had an idea for how I wanted the vocal melodies to go. Well, as a bit of family history is my siblings, I've lost 2 brothers and 1 sister to cancer. And my brother Brian, who was 4 years older than me, just passed December 30th. And I was on the plane coming back from his funeral, and that's when it just came to me what I would do for the lyrics. And it caused me to rearrange the song and change some things, but I just wrote the lyrics. And what we were saying earlier about how artists put their heart and soul into it, I mean, Other Times is really, it's that song. And if you really read into the lyrics, and people hopefully will have liked the song enough that they'll revisit it later, you can find it on our Facebook page and our website, and you can find links to it, and feel free to listen to it all you want.
Awesome.
If you really read into the lyrics, you hear it. That is what it's about.
Well,
excuse me?
And all right, if singer-songwriters come on my show, this is exactly what I like to hear. This is what we talk about, and that is the reasons behind the songs. That's just the thing we like hearing, where it comes from, how it's made, and things like that, because it does tell about the artist.
And something that we've never really put out there is the reason why we decided to release it so early. And that reason for that is that I didn't know it, but here I was flying back from my brother's funeral, and within a few weeks I was going to face my own diagnosis. And at the time we chose to release that song, I was pretty much being told, get your affairs together. And I thought to myself, well, I've always been this type of person that did what I wanted to do. And, they say, oh, you're going to have so many regrets when you die. And I'm like, not really. But I did think, and I thought, I want to get that song finished, and I want to release it. If I'm going to go, I want to get that last song out there. And, my story is a bit different than my siblings, is that I'm going to survive it. And it's pretty much a done deal now. I'm just going through chemo, and it's working very well. Whereas, my siblings didn't. And that's kind of what the song's about. It talks about how some people live. And in the chorus, the sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and other times you cry. It's sometimes you win is I'm beating it, so I won. Sometimes you lose is like my siblings lost, and the other times you cry, that's the family that has to deal with it, and the loved ones that have to deal with the fact that what someone goes through. And it's horrible. The disease is just horrible.
Yes, it is.
And it takes so many people, and everybody knows someone that's either gone through it or died from it. And I think that the song really, really helps pull those people together and know that they're not alone. There are other people out there that feel their pain.
I appreciate you saying all that, Steve, because it is, and sometimes it can be a lonely world, if you don't have anybody else that you can turn to on things like that. But yeah, now, actually, you have songs that are charting on radios?
Yep, you played one of them. There Comes a Time has charted. Other Times charted briefly, but I just didn't have the energy and just the ability at the time that we released it to promote it much. And we'll promote it more when the album is actually finished. But we've had several that have charted. I sent you one, and we've been talking about a kind of sad subject, and I sent you a song called Hold On, which is from the album we released last year in 2017. Late 2017 we released it. The album was called Quiet Little Towns. And Hold On it's not really a country song. It starts off kind of as a ballad and then just picks up into that full Bonazzoli band sound. And maybe to snap everybody up and get people energized again, maybe it would be a good time for you to run Hold On.
Sure, we can play that, and if people want to hold on, and we'll come right back. Let's play this.
Thank
You are listening to the Paige Roberts Show on Intercom Radio Network. We are broadcasting live off of Blog Talk Radio. The call-in number is 646-668-8941. We have a few listeners on the line. I know McKay Howard is listening to Choda Records, and Donna Ray probably. So we do appreciate it. And they help promote us too, Matthew. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome when you have people like that are out there, and that is what they do. So.
Yeah, Donna was very, very welcoming when she contacted us about joining the Coda Records groups, and she's been great, and she's a great artist herself. Really love her music.
She was on the show. I forget when it was. It was back a few months, but we've got a lot of Choda Records artists on our network now. And, you know, if you're an artist or singer-songwriter out there that wants to come on the show, I mean, all you have to do is ask. That's how we do things, you know.
Yep. Well, that's the best way. You might discover someone that no one's ever heard.
Right. Well, and you know, with the songwriting contest, Matthew, that's what comes with the songwriting contest, too, is the promotional package.
Oh, that's great. That's great, because that's what they need, because the real artists, as we were saying, they aren't very good at promoting themselves. I know. I'm one of them. I don't talk about it. Outside of the band, I don't go around telling everybody, hey, I'm in a band, listen to it. I don't do that.
Right. It's a lot of work, and you see what I do out there. I mean, it's a constant 24-hour day job. So,
yep. Yeah. Promoting your show, I'm sure, is pretty much a full-time job, and you better love what you're doing. So after the show, send me your address, and I will send you some autographed CDs.
Yes, and don't forget
so you
your
can IM me on Facebook, and I'll send you some, because it's just my way of contributing.
Don't forget your autographed picture. You know, I usually get my artists. I said, send me an autographed picture. I put it on my wall with all the rest of my pictures that I get from people all over the place.
No problem. I will do that.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I don't know if McKay wants to say anything. Do you want to say anything, McKay? Or are you just sitting there?
How are you, Matthew?
I'm very well, McKay. How are you?
Well, I enjoyed your story a while ago, and I love your music.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And see, you know what I was saying is that makes my day. That's all we need. We don't need to sell 1 million records. We get one person that says, you know, that's a really good song. I like what you guys are doing. Yeah. And that makes it all worthwhile.
And like Paige said, we work really hard, and it's not like we make money on this, so have to be very dedicated.
No, we're usually lucky if we cover the costs of releasing an album. You know,
I know.
That's basically all we can really hope for. Sometimes we do better. Some albums do better than others. Our Quiet Little Towns album did so well, and I was so unhappy with the recording that I re-recorded the entire album to improve. That's what we just heard is the song from the re-recorded version, and we did well with the re-release too. It's one of our better sellers. So yeah, you don't make a lot, but you know,
and
you do it for the love.
Do you have certain radio stations there, or am I allowed to ask where you chart your songs at, so maybe I could keep out for them and keep track of them for you?
You know, like what I always say about it is I'm terrible at promotion. I get contacted by radio stations that tell me, you know, we've been playing your song, and station out in LA plays us faithfully almost every week. They'll play it like a few of our songs, and there's a few out there that play us routinely. But no, I don't know. I mean, I get emails and messages and say I really love your music from radio stations, but I don't actually keep track of it because it's just, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of work to do this.
Oh yes, I know. I do it every day.
Yeah.
I bet we could look into it and find your information though, because more.
If you Google the Bonazzoli Band, you'll see all these magazines have written articles about us. All these radio stations are playing us, but you know, that's why we make a little bit of money. And the funny thing is, most indies do nothing but lose money, and we are very blessed that we aren't a total loss. We have been around long enough that we've got a bit of a fan base, and the fans that we have are very, very loyal, and they really pay very close attention to what we're doing, and they notice. I've been, as they say, the band went dark several months ago when I was going through treatments, and we haven't really reignited it, and that's why when you contacted me, I was like, oh, great. It's a chance to say, yeah, we're still there. We are still working. We are still recording and writing. My brother Damien, as a matter of fact, has been working on a solo album. And, as you heard on the song Hold On, I mean, he's a fantastic guitarist.
Yeah.
And he has his own music school in Florida, and he's releasing a solo album of all instrumental music in October.
Well,
That's
see,
great.
he does all of his recording and productions too, right?
Yeah. Yep, he recorded the whole thing himself, the same way that I recorded this album. All the music you're hearing, I recorded myself. We did actually. One of the reasons I mentioned that Quiet Little Towns is when we recorded the first version of it. It was the last time I went to a recording studio. I was just so disappointed with the end result, and I for years it bothered me. Almost 10 years it bothered me, and I finally was just like, you know what? I'm re-recording this entire album because this guy just ruined it. And that experience with that recording studio helped lead to the Bonazzoli Band sound, where we record our own music and we take our time, we do what we want to do. And yeah, it takes sometimes 2 years for us to get an entire album finished, whereas if we wrote the songs, went into a studio, we could knock them out in a month or two. But yeah, we do it, and that's great. That's part of the technology boom, is the tools are there. And I have heard some of the stuff on Damien's upcoming album, and it's amazing. It's amazing what he's done. And I think fans of the Bonazzoli Band are going to love what he does. They're going to love his album. There are instrumentals that he's composed and he and I have put together on the Bonazzoli Band albums. But somehow he got the bug to do an entire album of that stuff. And it's pretty amazing to hear. Because not many people do albums like that anymore.
It's always
That's even less mainstream than we are.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe at the first of the year or sometime we can have maybe both of you back and you can talk about that.
Yeah, as I said, I believe his release is in mid-October is when his album is coming out. For some reason, that seems to be a thing with us. We release our albums usually around October. It's always been a tradition going back 20 years. It just seems that we have that autumn feel to us. We're not a summer party band. It just seems to. It's the mood just seems to work for me to release an album in the fall.
I think that's true with all artists, because right now they are writing and they're playing, and by October, November, and December, they're putting together their albums or their singles or what. There's some people that do singles and there's some people that do albums, so whichever way they get it out there,
Yep, it's easier by far to release your material one song at a time, and it affords you the opportunity to focus on one work. So you focus on one recording and you promote that, and you focus on that, and it gets that song probably more exposure. When you record an album, there's a certain prestige with having the entire album, and you've got the beautiful graphics and the packaging and all that, but you've also got like 12 songs on there, and you pick a single and you try to focus on that, but then in the back of an artist's mind, they're like, oh, nobody will ever listen to this song, and it's the best one on the album. And it's totally true. It very well may be. So releasing a song as a single gives you the opportunity to kind of promote something that normally you wouldn't do.
Right.
It's funny. I'm looking at the clock and I'm seeing that we're almost out of time, which is truly unfortunate because there's so much more we could talk about.
We could talk for hours, Matthew. I know, but people don't know about Blog Talk Radio. Once it cuts off, it's still recording. So. Yep. That's the good thing about that. Because I've gone over a lot of times, even 30 minutes or so, and people are still talking. I'm like, and they don't notice the time, but it's all good.
Yeah, when I was first contacted, I was
I
told.
know you didn't know who I was.
What was that?
I said, thank you for responding to my message. I know that you didn't know who I was.
Well, the truth is I only pretty much use the social media sites for the band. So mostly if people contact me, I'm pretty sure it's something related to that, or it's, somebody trying to sell something, which I generally avoid. So
That's
you
right.
seem friendly enough.
Now, as far as your venues, now let me get it out. Are you and your band playing anywhere? Do y'all have
No,
any special?
at the moment, I'm still recovering, and of course, Damien's working on his solo album, and Patrick's working on his thing, and so we aren't actually playing out anywhere. And the truth be told, we've always been more of a recording outfit. There was a lot of videos of us playing live on the internet, but we were never one of those bar bands. We're a big band. A lot of times we have 7 people on stage, backup singers and 3 people playing guitar and keyboards and bass and drums to get that full sound. And it's not really a bar atmosphere type of sound. It's more of a venue. So we play a lot of festivals and things like that, and we'll be back out on the festival circuit at some point. But for right now, we're working on just getting the next album done.
More time, because we haven't even really talked about your band, and we still have a lot of other things we could talk about too.
That is very true. But people that want to find out about the band, it's www.bonazzoli.com, and you can find us on Facebook really easy. We've got an artist page. We've got a promo kit. We've got basically anything anyone would want. And look us up on YouTube. It's just Bonazzoli Band on YouTube, and you'll find we've got quite a few very, very well done music videos. And I say well done, meaning I filmed them myself and edited them. So I like to think they're well done.
They were awesome. It looks pretty cool, man. You did a great job.
Well, we do pretty much like most indies. We do pretty much all of it ourselves. We record it, we write it, we play it, we shoot our own videos, we do our own photography, we do our own album graphics, we do all that stuff on our own.
Wow.
But we just have a lot of talented people that can put all that together.
That's amazing.
Wow. Totally.
Well, computers are amazing nowadays. If it were the days of VHS tapes, and I wouldn't be shooting music videos. There's just no way. Too much work.
I try to, and I don't try to force it on people, but I'm like, there's a ton of sites out there. I use Audacity like day and night. All day long I use Audacity to edit, even my shows sometimes. So, if you want something done, all you have to do is Google it,
Yeah, that's very true. I do, even when I'm editing, which I've been editing video for 15 years now, when I'm editing, I'll get stuck, and I'll be like, well, how do I do that? I just Google it. Somebody's made a video. They've had the same problem. And I'm just like, man, the internet is something else. So, to indie artists out there, don't be afraid to film your own videos.
No.
Get it out there. Let people see who you are. It's important. It's not just hearing the songs. Let them see who you are. And YouTube can be used. You're not going to make much money off of it, pennies actually, but it is pretty good. You can send your videos out everywhere, and you can store them on there for free.
Even on places like CD Baby, a lot of the songs only go for 99 cents each.
Yeah. We released through CD Baby. We have since they first started. Our first album on CD Baby came out in 1999. We had released 2 albums before they even existed, but I released with CD Baby in 1999, the first Gearhead album, and we've been with them ever since, and they've grown into a huge company. Now, granted, you could say, oh, they're just profiting off of the artist, which they are, but it's one of those. They're offering a valuable service. You don't need to release on CD anymore. I like doing it. You can sell them at shows and things like that, so I like doing that. But
it's an easy way to get money right then and there,
Yeah, I mean, we always sold a whole bunch of albums. In fact, I remember at one point we sold out one of our albums because we were playing a lot of shows, and we'd sell 10 at a show. And you get 1,000 CDs, but you start selling them online, and then pretty soon you're selling 10, 20, 30. We do these big festivals, and we sell 30 or 40 of them, and I was like, oh, damn. The
cool.
first run we did 500, and I thought I'll never get rid of 500, and that's why we ran out of them.
That's awesome.
Now all the CDs that I have, like I'll send you some, I have limited numbers of them left because we sold most of them. And
That's
so,
awesome,
it's something you can always sell. In fact, we just got another order for the 3 CD autograph package from Italy. I think it just came in today. So I'm going to be sending those out. So that's one of each album. And every time one of those comes in, it's 3 albums gone. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I will say, if you liked what you heard, by all means, go to Bonazzoli.com, and I'll give my little quick pitch since we're at the 9 o'clock mark. We play the best of 20th century music wrapped into a 21st century alternative. If you like country, you're going to like us. If you like rock, you're going to like us. If you like blues, you'll like us. If you like swing, you'll like us. And I think there's something for everyone in there. And I would say there's one other thing that we need to do before we close out. And I promised people we would give you a song that they had never heard, a recording, and I gave it to you. And it's a good closer. So when we're ready to wrap up, we'll play the song "Happy to See You Again." And the history of that song goes back 20 years. I recorded it acoustically in 2000, around 2000. I recorded the song as an acoustic, and I always thought, well, what if I added the whole band? And so that's what I've given you is a recording with the whole Bonazzoli band playing "Happy to See You Again."
Awesome. Well, I was ironically looking at that song just now. So, yes. So if you're out there on social media, be sure and look up Matthew's social media sites, like he said. And we'll be sharing, of course. We'll put all the information on our website. And I'm on Reverb Nation as well, so a lot of the songs that we have here will be uploaded onto there. So.
Oh, great. Yeah, I use Reverb Nation, but it's one of those, you've got so many platforms now. Which ones do you maintain?
I know. That's what I was thinking today. I'm like, okay. And I leave off LinkedIn, or LinkedIn, or however you want to see it. But,
I reserve LinkedIn for my resume, and I use the other sites.
Right.
Yeah.
But I usually promote the website, Reverb Nation, and Facebook. So, and that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. It is a full-time job. It honestly is. That's why all these major artists, they've got an entire team behind them promoting everything. And you know what? If you had enough money, you could probably make yourself big. I believe that's how Taylor Swift got it. Her father basically bought her a recording studio, and that's how she got launched. You can pay all the experts. You can pay that top dollar studio to record you, and if you got the money, you can do it. But if you're not, you're an indie.
Right. I have been looking into studios, but I just haven't had the time to do all that and to do this too. And I'm like, how do I go? I said, I'm going to have to learn how to prioritize a little bit better. I didn't get
all the indie artists have to learn to do that. You want to get your material out there as soon as possible because you're really excited about it, but make sure it's finished first.
Exactly. Well, I think we're going to close out here. We are back here tomorrow night. Let's see who I got. We have local Andy Brown Troop. Andrew Brown is Athens, local Georgia. So tune in tomorrow night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ought to be awesome. We have a lot of locals coming on here in the next couple of months. So I think that's pretty cool.
That's fantastic.
So I like to put them out there. And our commercial was done by local. So, yeah. And Matthew, we hope to have you back on again as well. So we appreciate it. And we
happy to do it.
Awesome.
That
and
was
we
a lot
appreciate
of fun. And don't lament that we didn't talk about the band too much. People get bored with that. They want to hear other things. So we gave them a lot of background to the industry.
Well, it's pretty cool. So it's all good. But if you want to hear about the band, it's out there. and I know it's out there on Reverb Nation and things like that. So go look it up. We will be sharing it,
Right.
and I think we're gonna close out now and go out with "Happy to See You Again." And like I said, we'll be back here tomorrow night, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Intercom Radio Network. Thanks, y'all.
All right, thank you, Paige, and thank you, everyone.
All right, and bye-bye. See y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
folks. This is Mark Wilmot, singer-songwriter of the Redstone Ramblers, owner of Trademark Instrument Repair, and proud supporter of the Paige Roberts Show on Intercom Radio. Do you want that old acoustic to play like butter again? You want to get that Strat you got from your dad hot-rodded? Or maybe you want to put a pickup in your banjo? You can contact me for all your TLC. I'll be there for your instrument when it needs me. You can check me out at Trademark Instrument Repair on Facebook. Thanks again for listening, and remember, support your local songwriter.
We're playing tunes that make you grin. Our music's better than it's ever been. So think of us when you need a show. We're at WIRN, Intercom Radio.
Amazon has everything for back to school. Zebra lunchbox? Check. Cool Adidas gear like t-shirts, shoes, and backpacks? Check. Triceratops folders and pencils? Check. Laser Cat t-shirts? Check. Get your back to school shopping done now at Amazon.com/back-to-school and enjoy free shipping on millions of items. No need to leave your home or hassle with crowds. Amazon.com. No better place to get everything back to school from A to Z.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Oh, what a great audience. Let's dim the lights for this next one. Nope, too much. There it is. Gotta get things just right. Like Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay, and we help you find coverage options that fit your budget. And now, the mood is right. Wait, the lights are back on again. Trudy, can you? And now it's completely dark.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.